the question that this person has posed is really the question why most of the persons are here. So just bear with me. Michael, you're the best person to answer this question.
All right.
This is the scenario. My first and only book. So she writes poetry, right? She produced a poetry book. It was published in July 2022, and it gained the bestseller status that same month on Amazon. It remained in the top 100 bestseller category, but did not give me the earnings I hoped for. It got great reviews. I was featured as a guest at a local organization. I was asked to conduct a workshop about writing short poems. So she's doing the entrepreneur thing. She had a successful book signing after the event, but she had to market. She said, I had to market myself walking the pavements. After all these events, the sale of the book is flatlined. Is there something else I should be doing? Was it premature for me to believe that my first book would generate enough income to sustain myself? How long does it usually take before you see profit? So take it away, because I believe once you answer that, we can pack up and go home. But after we hear Javed, go right ahead.
Yeah, well, this is such a great question, Judith, and it does perfectly encapsulate how a lot of authors feel, especially when you first start. So first off, my hat's off to you for all of the accomplishments that first book got. I will tell you that a lot of people don't even get some of the things that you got with that first book. So first and foremost, every book has what you would call a life cycle. And that life cycle is not what you think it is. So when you first start publishing a book, that's when you first publish the book, that is when you get the majority of your visibility, particularly on Amazon. The algorithms favor newer books, and that's probably why you were able to get into that bestseller status. There was something about your book that hit all the right buttons. All right. And then as the book ages, the algorithms start to favor it a little bit less. And so it's not uncommon for sales to drop or even flatline for a new book that was particularly doing well. All right. And with poetry, it's a smaller audience. So that doesn't surprise me. The question that I would flip back to you, I have two, a question and a suggestion. The question is, what have you been doing to find new readers, whether it be learning how to run ads, doing podcast interviews like Marva mentioned? Where is it that your readers hang out, and what avenues have you taken to try to go after those people? The second thing, the suggestion that I would give is, while you're doing that and while you're trying to figure that out, because I bet that there are avenues that you could pursue that maybe you haven't, such as ads, rehashing your book description, all sorts of things. Take the success that you got from conducting the workshop, top 100 bestseller. I would be putting all of those things in your book description. So at the top of your book description, put as much hype as you can to take some success from that. And then when you figure out what those avenues are, that's going to help the book get a little bit more mileage, because it's going to help readers say, oh wow, this book is a winner. This is pretty successful. And that should hopefully help you. But feel free to answer the question. I would be happy to weigh in on some of that and offer some suggestions.
Thank you, Michael. I want to weigh in here. I thought my first book would make me a millionaire. It didn't.
Me too.
So it is not uncommon for authors to think that books will just fly off the shelf. And so we feel disappointed when after the launch, we are not seeing any book sales. And just remember that it's a marathon, not a sprint. Your book has a life cycle, as Michael said. Go ahead, Michael.
No, go ahead, Ruth. I thought you were done. Go ahead, keep going.
Now, I was saying that your book has a life cycle, as Michael said. So in the early stage, your friends and family, they're going to support it. But then, as Michael said before, you need to tap into your audience. and then seek to create new audiences beyond their immediate sphere of influence, which is why I asked Marva to do that presentation. You need to tap into other people's audiences to find new readers. And that's why you go on podcasts. That's why you go on TV shows. That is why you're going to run ads and different things, because you want to find new readers and new audience. But if you don't know who the audience is from the early stage, that's going to be difficult. And so what you're going through is normal. And therefore, you need to have a plan. Anything you want to add to that, Michael or Marva? And then that would be the perfect time to bring on Javed after. Go ahead, Michael.
I would just say keep writing more books, because nothing sells your next book, or nothing sells your last book like your next book. That's a common saying in the indie community. And then also remember, when I talked about life cycles not quite being what you think they are, just because a book sales flatline doesn't mean the book is over. Books can take on new lives. And sometimes when they take on new lives, it's because of something that you wrote later. So keep writing books, keep building your community, keep finding ways to reach people. And you may find that success happens. The book could come back to life, right? But the more books you have, the less concerned you are about the performance of one book. So focus on building a portfolio, and that will help your book sales overall.
Thank you so much. Is there anything you want to add to that, Marva, before I put on Javed, because he's going to talk about advertisement, which is a good way to get new audiences for your book.
Yeah.
Anything to add to that, Marva?
I think both you and Michael covered it, Ruth. It's really just going back to that message, what is it that you hope to achieve with this book? And then finding the audiences that match that, because sometimes we stay in one small space and we think we've expanded on that audience, and then you move on to new grounds, right? So yeah, I'm excited to hear what Javed is going to share as to how we can do that.